Restoring a database in SQL Server. Restoring a database does not involve a lot of steps, but we need to understand one important setting before undertaking the task. The recovery option, when set incorrectly, can thwart all our efforts to restore a database. The recovery option tells the SQL Server we have finished restoring the database and users should be allowed back in. You should use this option only on the last file of the restore process. For example, if we have performed a full backup, then a differential backup, and then a transaction log backup, we would need to restore all three of them to bring the database backup to a consistent state. If we specify the recovery option when restoring the differential backup, SQL Server won't allow us to restore any other backups. You have told SQL Server in effect that you are done restoring and it should let everyone start using the database again. If we have more than one file to restore, you need to specify no recovery and all the restores except the last one. SQL Server also remembers where the original files were located when we backed them up. So if we backed up the files from the read drive, SQL Server will restore them to the read drive. This is great unless your D drive has failed and you need to move our database to the E drive. You will also run into the problem if you have backed up a database on a server at the home office and need to restore the database to a server at a child office. In this instance, we need to use the move to option which lets you back up a database in one location and move it to another location. Finally, before SQL Server will allow us to restore a database. It performs a safety check to make sure you aren't accidentally restoring the wrong database. The first action SQL Server takes is to compare the database name that is being restored with the name of the database recorded in the backup device. If the two are different, SQL Server won't perform the restore. Thus, if we have a database on the server named accounting and you are trying to restore from a backup device that has a backup of a database named Wintel, SQL Server won't perform the restore. This is a lifesaver unless you are trying to override the existing database with the database from the backup. If that is the case, you need to specify the replace option which is designed to override the safety check. To simulate a down database, follow these steps. Open SQL Server Configuration Manager from the Start menu. Second point. In the left pane, select SQL Server 2005 Services. Right-click Server, SQL Server, MS SQL Server in the right pane. Click Stop. You will be asked whether you want to stop the SQL Server agent service as well. Click Yes. Find the file adventureworks_data.mdf, usually in C program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL.fun, MS SQL data. Rename the file adventureworks_data.old. Find the file adventureworks_log.ldf and rename it to adventureworks_log.old. From the computer manager, restart the SQL Server agent and SQL Server services. Open SQL Server Management Studio and expand the databases under the server name. AdventureWorks cannot be expanded and has no summary. It is now inaccessible. Now we are ready to restore the database. Right-click the databases, select the Restore Database. In the Restore Database dialog box, select AdventureWorks from the To Database drop-down list box. Under the source for the restore, select from device, click the ellipsis button next to the text box to select a device. In the Specify Backup dialog box, select Backup Device from the Backup Media drop-down list box and click Add. In the Specify Backup dialog, select AdventureWorks and click OK. Click OK to close the Specify Backup dialog box. Under Select the Backup Sets to restore, Check all the three backups: full, differential, and transactional log backup. Doing so returns the database to the most recent state. On the options page, make sure the restore with recovery option is selected because you have no more backups to restore. Click OK to begin the restore process. Click OK in the dialog box that opens after the restore is complete. Thank you.